Samama Shudnejarana. If everyone please takes their seats, thank you. Okay, we'd like to begin the ceremony, please. It is my great honor today to welcome all of you on this special occasion. Today, we celebrate the launch of the first volume in a 4-volume series that brings together classic Buddhist scientific and philosophical explorations on the nature of reality. On behalf of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and his office, we would first like to especially welcome the Honorable Chief Minister of Bihar, Shri Nitish Kumar ji, for taking time out of his most busy schedule to honor us today with his presence. Without further ado, I would now like to introduce Dr. Thupten Jimbala, the general editor of this series, to give a brief introduction of the book, Science and Philosophy in the Indian Buddhist Classics, Volume 1, The Physical World. Dr. Jimpa has served as His Holiness the Dalai Lama's primary English translator for more than 30 years and is currently, among many other responsibilities, chairman of the Mind and Life Institute. In order to save time, we have also asked Dr. Jimpa to briefly introduce the book, both in English as well as in Tibetan, for the benefit of the majority of the audience. Dr. Jimpa, please.
Your Holiness, Honorable Shri Nitish Kumar, Chief Minister of this great Indian state of Bihar, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored to have this opportunity to say a few words about this important series entitled Science and Philosophy in the Indian Buddhist Classics, which is being formally launched here in Bodhgaya today. This series was conceived by His Holiness the Dalai Lama himself and compiled under his careful supervision by a team of scholars over many years. It brings together classical Buddhist scientific and philosophical explorations into the nature of reality within a framework that is accessible to the modern reader. Of the 4 volumes within the series, first volume, which is being released here today, is on Science of the Physical World. By the way, those who wish to obtain copies of this volume, it will be available at the Namgyal bookstore located just outside this Kalachakra ground. The second volume on mind science will be available sometime this year, with the remaining 2 volumes on philosophy to appear in subsequent years. The creation of this series represents a truly historic achievement. Firstly, the careful extraction and organization of the views and insights of the great Indian Buddhist thinkers within a framework of scientific inquiry is in itself a revolutionary achievement in the history of Buddhist thought. Thanks to His Holiness's vision, contemporary readers have for the first time an opportunity to engage from a scientific perspective with the ideas and insights of Indian Buddhist thinkers like Nagarjuna, Chandrakirti, Asanga, Vasubandhu, Dignaga, and Dharmakirti. They can read their actual words and follow their arguments. Secondly, these volumes have the potential to make a significant contribution to the history of ideas. To date, the history of ideas, especially of science, remains predominantly Eurocentric, with little attention paid to the great civilizations outside the Western world. These volumes on science, however, document a sophisticated tradition of scientific thinking that flourished in ancient India with investigations of atomic theory, the nature of time, the concept of multiple world systems, embryonic development, the function of the brain, and microorganisms within the human body, and so on. In particular, what the Indian traditions have achieved in the domain of mind science remains unparalleled even today. The great Indic schools of Sankhya, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Mimamsa, Vedanta, Jainism, and Buddhism have all developed sophisticated understandings of the workings of the human mind, as well as meditative techniques for training and regulating our mind and emotions. Thirdly, given that all the classical Indian sources gathered in these volumes were drawn from the two Tibetan canonical collections of Gangyur and Tengyur, most of the texts being translated from Sanskrit. The creation of this special series also represents an important gift to India and to the world from the Tibetan people and the Indian traditions that the Tibetans have kept alive. It is most fitting that this historic series is being launched here in Bodhgaya, which lies within the state of Bihar, where the great Indian monastic universities of Nalanda, Vikramalashila, and Otantapuri once flourished. I see profound symbolism in the fact that the Honorable Chief Minister of Bihar is joining His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, in the official launch of this series. It represents the joining of the traditional guru and chela, teacher and disciple, that is India and Tibet, in honoring their shared heritage of Indic knowledge and offering these as gifts to the larger world. His Holiness always maintains that while the religious aspects of the great Indian traditions are relevant to the followers of their specific traditions, the scientific and philosophical aspects of the writings of the great Indian masters should be recognized as having universal relevance and importance. And so lately, His Holiness has been speaking about his commitment to help renew the awareness and appreciation of the knowledge of the classical Indian traditions, especially among the younger generation of Indians. Today, with the release of the first volume of the series and the Hindi edition scheduled to appear within this year, it is my hope that a part of His Holiness's important aspiration is being realized. With translations into the world's other major languages underway, there is no doubt that the series will reach many people across the world. Personally, as a humble student of His Holiness and as someone who was trained in the Tibetan monastic education system that focuses on the study of the Indian Buddhist classics, it has been a truly profound privilege to serve as the general editor, both of the original Tibetan as well as the English edition. While I will recognize the names of my Tibetan colleagues in my remarks in Tibetan, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge Dr. Ian Coughlin, who undertook the English translation of the first volume, and Dr. Sue Dechen-Rochard, who undertook the translation of the second volume, and our publishers, Wisdom Publications in the United States, and Simon & Schuster here in India. Thank you, Your Holiness, and thank you, Honorable Chief Minister, and thank you all for being here today. Thank you. Dhanyavad. Aje sishi tuken chino khonsa kyangwen chimbu chodan Bihar nga de lönjen kushab Nitish Kumar cho ganden chirmche saje tizirmche khen le su la du gi shenamba shen de pepe seje phom lenje la darin de chino khonsa kyangwen chimbu chodan Bihar nga de lönjen ni ne nesho doji dendu nangbe chenri de taru kundu je pöten ingyur unje na we kapde kubar pöten kejen di ngodo sikhashi ji shugyu khogop thobane keba shindu sangbo ngonjen shuyu Pöten de chino khonsa kyangwen chimbu cho ni ge gongshe da kalo lamden wo keba ge shi kha ji ge lomang bur ngewa tende chedu tikbe shi chayu kundu ge pöten de la lebam shi yu jin chenri ji ko la chi su jen ji ko da na sem ge namsha ge ko che susur pö re chen pö ni da tene tadu ri be ko le pö ni che yu teren kap su baba ne chenri kundu ji pö thang bu ingju unje na gyu de Tian chino khonsa kyangwen chimbu cho ge gongshe la na mebar phayu ge nang be shung nam ge jö ja la Shingubyo namsha gam tsenrida tadruk choje lanlenje sumdo ye rungwada. Dii tohne tsenrida tadruk namsha ni surudu koydon chede. Lebom losu diktuba chungwa dene nangwa sanjebe tenpa jikden ter tarne melo nidong ngaja haa ko songwe loyu ringbu tiina sardoyo ge zeje shindu chenpo shikdo kyuriyo. Dii gengi jigne tingsang zamlin sanne mangbor rangi nangba yimeda nangjo la teba yoyme la matyo bar. Sheje dushi ge tene ngungi nangbe lobyon chenpo namge 공부루로 yapse tabu다 토메 구제 초랑 yapse tabu she반남 딩럽게 체리다 따루 리베 남네 똑식 저교요 바다 대답 슝게 차셰 카 정우에서 로토바 대신도 개바 되는 게 그거 리버 참여하는 게 로주 소수 용기요 바제기 그거 표도바 중요 니네 파유 여러분 개배 왕부 되는 게 체리겠네 빼나 최소 뇌주게 직된 차주네 중서 수쟁 그 추게 좀씩 뒤타르게 받다 대신도 토마랑에도 인잠 조주네 타르 치외린 배갑게 남시에다 롱타라 팀주게 받다 셴야 뒤지 오다 뒤지 통다 제제게 체계 남샤 케버도 나 샘감을 배고라 로유런 주주다 차단소 용초게 오다 첼레 대달라 등진 저주소로 남배숑도 셰바 띵sab진 신도 10차보 여반남 군두지 뼈텐 디규네 계지 케버지다 학벌 처리 만남게 로제렘베 익주 신도 개천시도 준토바 총유 숨내 군두지 뼈전디 디나 낭배 천리도 떠루기 꼴라 초지 슈바 타다 랑레 까덴지다 학벌 땡규르네 뛰어 바시 임바데 군두지 뼈전지바테 란자 표미리다 표그리 슈니기 토네 야가단 잠린 용라 계상부시 표토바 총유바 원주 슈유 다른들이 내조 도지된도 저는 관사장군 전부처는 낭배 천리다 떠루 군두 뼈 탕부 인주 운제 제베 갑들 비하랑아델 륜젠 초 체자르나와 테를 천된 첨부시 여바 통구도 테네 로유그 토네 라롭도 주르베 자가다 표현이 송제그 토네 투모웨 제노도 주베 파유그 낭베 르베 숑루남 계지 딩제 등 세드엔제데 점린지 세제주의 추도 동화시도 통구도 뼈렌디 기신도 주르와라 차샤나 뼈 당분이게 자게 표현신라 힌디 로디나 통규다 대신도 점린기 신 제가 신근난도 주르신베 뼈렌된 점린나 캬베 신도 첨부시 용와 슈무고 게르경원의 슈나 라니 게르경원의 슈나 진노 관사장군 첨부 로메 제대로 똑바시 임베 차네 달래 군두게 뼈렌디 초디다 인주르기 니게 또 샵슈 고급 토바드는 수수 미제나게 소남 초베 시체쇼시도 원전 슈구유 다들 군두 뼈렌디 초디게 레전토 로마리 배전 첨부 나외 라마기신 남 레르네 천된 슈나 좀디 초종 그 초조 남자 캠보 세지 좀 더르미지 좀디 gen진 처음에 세르메 기시 양대는 부치다 제 롤린 기시 투된 배상 남자 결론 투된 양배 좀디 봉을 가샤 캐는 뭐지 기시 장주 상계다 제 롤린 기시 강원 상계 가장 기시 지사 중间주구다 고만 제 고만 기시 로상 캐조 제인 그네 달래 창면 삽슈데 레든 디토네 소남 지사바남 진노 관사 장부 전부 쪽 구즈샵에 유도 된지 투시 현지 주변 체다 현된다 조장도 오쳐봐슈 소남디 탐제 세바이 고반톤에 규제 다도데 가다나다 치웰로도 세베솔은 로원도 투지지
Thank you, Tubna Jimbala. Taking this opportunity, we would also like to recognize each of the committee members for the Compendium Project. I would like to first call upon Gishil Haramba Chomdo Rinpoche, Abbot of Namgyal Monastery. Next is Gishil Haramba Yangde Rinpoche, Office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Third is Gishil Haramba Chanju Sangye, Abbot of Gande Shartse Monastery. Fourth is Gishil Haramba Chersa Rinpoche, Gande Changze Monastery. And fifth is Gishil Haramba Gishi Kejo Jebu Goma Monastery. We also want to recognize one other member who was not able to come today, Gishil Haramba Ngawa Sangye from Jebu Losaling Monastery. We would now request His Holiness and Sri Nitish Kumar ji to please jointly release the book. No. Thank you. We thank each of you for releasing the book today. We also would like to let everyone know that the Chinese translation of this book was also completed. And for this, we would like to recognize Dr. Jamyang Rinchen, who was the primary translator for the Chinese project. Now I would like to request Sri Nitish Kumar ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Bihar, to address the gathering.
Respected Your Holiness and His Eminence Kandentu Rinpoche and Sajjatizu Rinpoche and all the Venerable Rinpoches, Khenpos, and to all the Venerable monks gathered here, and also the Deputy Commissioner of the town Magadha, the DIG of Police Vinit Kumar, the District Magistrate of Gaya Shri Magistri Singh Ji, Gaya's Senior Superintendent of Police Shri Malik Ji, and the Temple Management Committee Shri Mane Dorji Ji, and all the members of the Mahabodhi Society here at Bodhgaya, and to all the gatherings who came from different countries. So I was able to attend this ceremony here today, and it's a great honor and a pleasure for me to attend this gathering and to be able to meet His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. So we all receive enormous blessings after receiving him. And earlier years, I've also met him during the Kalachakra initiation here. I also attended. And it's a great news for all of us that His Holiness again graced visited here in Bodhgaya, and also the 3 days teaching here, especially for the Indian devotees. And also in the coming days, His Holiness will stay for many days to come here. So first of all, I want to welcome His Holiness to Bodhgaya, and it is a great pleasure for all of us and a great blessing for us that the Bodhgaya is a very sacred and a precious place for all of us, where the Lord Buddha became enlightened here and his realizations and the wisdom completed here. And we recognize this place as the most important place for all of us. This very place, the Bodhgaya, where he attained enlightenment. And the Lord Buddha's birth in Bodhgaya has, and also his teachings have spread all over the world. And today for this ceremony, and in the presence of His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, due to his blessings, due to his kindness, and with the help of great scholars, the translation of this book has been edited and translated. Science and Philosophy. His Holiness used to speak about the Nalanda traditions. Whenever I heard him speak, he used to source and recite about the importance of the Nalanda traditions. And it is a great pleasure to know that this book, which is of 4 volumes, and the first one is about the external world for the science and philosophy. And the second one is for the internal consciousness and mind. And the third and fourth is for the philosophy. And total 4 volumes. And it is only due to the blessings and the kindness of His Holiness that we're able to bring out this great, enormous, and knowledgeable book to all the world. And this can be understood in very plain language and easy for all of us. And when I came to know that this book will be released, inaugurated here, and also in the plain English and also in the Hindi, and the Hindi edition will come this later year, so I feel great pleased. If this is being translated into Hindi, so a lot of people in India will be able to understand the teachings of Buddha in a very easy language all over the India. They will be able to read it and they will be able to gain a lot of wisdom out of it. His Holiness used to say that for all the people, we all will get a great power out of this, and our life will be much better, more happy, and also more peaceful. And for these important topics, His Holiness has given teaching for last 3 days. And this is the meaning of the life, the happiness of life. So we are all entangled in different problems of our life. But we are all trying to find the purpose and the meaning of our life. And I'm very confident that through the inauguration of this book and also the coming volumes, and the great wisdom that is coming out of this book, it will help in the peace and happiness to all over the world. And this will be another new source of wisdom and knowledge for all the world. As Jimbala has read about this book, he's speaking in English. So the first point was that these great universities are located in Bihar. So I wanted to tell you all that. And the state government has declared that there is another place which is not far from Nalanda. There is another university which is coming up. After the great excavations, so archaeologists have been able to find a new institutions around the 2nd BC. We were able to find many archaeological monuments similar to the Nalanda, Odantapuri, and so on. So these great institutions like Odantapuri and Nalanda are sources of great knowledge, great institutions. And His Holiness, you visit Bihar and the Bodhgaya, and we receive a lot of blessings. So whatever the Lord Buddha has taught us, the land itself is very precious. There are many important and precious pilgrimage places that we can visit here. And Lord Buddha also taught about the middle way philosophy and the way he taught the people about understanding these great philosophies. I wanted to tell His Holiness that we are working on this policy of growth with justice. And not only we are paying attention of the public, we are also paying attention to all the other sentient beings, all other beings, and all other areas of institutions and so on. And also, we have taken many new steps, many steps in the happiness of the people. The first one is we have also stopped all the alcoholic drinks, the sale of all alcoholic drinks in Bihar. And on 21st January, we have also made a human chain. About 400 million people took part in that human chain. So that is the first record in the world where 21 million people participate in forming that human chain. and people have expressed their views. And also with that, there's another two other important steps that we are going to take. That is the stopping of the child marriage and also the dowry system. And on the 21st of January this year, today is Sunday. And the next week, on the very same day of the Sunday, we will form another human chain for commencement of these two great initiatives. So in the presence of the great His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I believe that the people of the Bihar will get a lot of blessings, and your prayers will help us the success in our all initiatives. And I'm very happy on the occasion of the releasing of this book. You have invited me as a part of this ceremony. And for that, I really feel honored. I'm used to visit Bodhgaya very frequently. This is the land of enlightenment, land of liberation, and also the land of wisdom. And there is no other more important thing that we should be proud of other than this. And people also come in huge numbers to attend the Kala Chakra initiations. But even today, for this teaching also, people from different countries have gathered here to receive the teaching. And Your Holiness, you have been sharing your knowledge and wisdom to so many different traditions and the people coming from different countries at this place. And this is a great feeling of pride for all of us. We want to listen to you again and again. And with these words, and the releasing of the book, and these great humble words to all of you, and on this great land of Bihar, on the great land of Bodhgaya, I wish you all very, very good, and thank you so much.
We would like to request Professor Samdam Rinpoche to give a summation in Tibetan of the Honorable Chief Minister's speech.
Bihar ngadi jijau jing
So I will repeat a very brief about what Chief Minister Nitish Kumar said. So paying his respect to His Holiness and other great venerable monks, and also the people coming from different countries. So today, as being invited by His Holiness, for the inauguration of a very important book, he came here, and he considered himself a great source, honored for him to be able to attend this occasion. So Bodhgaya is a very auspicious and important place for all of us, for the place of attainment, Lord Buddha's enlightenment place. And also the center of many Buddhist learning centers. So till now we know the existence of Nalanda, Vikramashila, and Udandapuri. And recently, while the excavations in a place near to Nalanda, we found another ancient Buddhist institution. So when we look in this way, after the passing of Lord Buddha, so Bihar state has been one of the main state where different institutions of the Buddhism came into being. And His Holiness visit Bodhgaya very frequently, and also this time he's staying for a long time. And he considered this as a great honor and a great moment for all the people of Bihar. And he also considered the inauguration of this book, the 4-volume book on science and philosophy, as a great step and a great service for the people in the world. And through this, we will be all able to understand the teachings of the Buddha in different languages. And till now, many people may not have access to these great literatures due to language barrier and so on. And especially the modern scientists also paid great importance and consider the teachings of the Lord Buddha as a source of great learning. And this is a new depth of studies and learning for all over the world. And this will be a source of great benefit to all the world. Especially His Holiness paid great importance to the youth of the world, and especially to the youth of India. And he used to request that Indian public, especially the school children and the youth, to pay more attention towards their ancient culture. And after the Kalachakra initiation last year, so Bihar state has been able to stop the alcoholic consumption and sale, and made a human chain for that on the 21st of the January last year. And we have been great successful in stopping all the alcoholic sales in this state. And similarly, we are organizing we are taking 2 new initiatives to stop the dowry system and child marriage, and forming a human chain for that in the coming 21st January. So I request His Holiness to come again and again and give teaching to all of us.
It is now my humble honor to request His Holiness the Dalai Lama to address the gathering. Down.
So my friend, a longtime friend, who is a sincere person, the Chief Minister of Bihar, Shri Nitish Kumarji, and there may be other people who have joined here, especially for this occasion of the book release. And then the people who have been here during the last 3 days. So I'd like to say that this is a very special occasion today. It is the day for the release of or launch of this first volume of the English on Buddhist science and philosophy, the first volume. So I would like to congratulate the Chief Minister particularly. So he is someone who has special interest in the spiritual traditions, and he once, in Patna, the Chief Minister built a Buddhist Vihara, Karuna Vihara or something, and I was invited during the inauguration ceremony, and perhaps we may have had the karmic connection since the time of the Buddha. It's possible. Perhaps he had created the karma to become the Chief Minister of Bihar in those days. And so, of course, the Chief Minister is has a very busy schedule. So I would like to thank him for coming here from the busy schedule, taking time to come here. So with regard to the making the book on Buddhist science and philosophy, in the beginning, when we came into exile, we had our own problems. We were lost in our own problems. And then gradually, as we gained more and more friends around the world, and particularly the scientists, great experts, scientists, having met them, what we found was that the studies that we have been doing since our childhood regarding mind, science of mind, psychology, and so forth, I found them to be relevant to the 21st century. So this has become very clear. And so the Kanjur and Tenjur, the translated words of the Buddha and its exegetical treatises that are in our language, which are kept up in the altar, usually as objects of worship. Generally speaking, of course, there are people. There are people who do take them down and do actually read and study them. So, regarding the content of these, the literature of Kanjur and Tenjur, we can divide them into the science of mind and logic and epistemology. These can be considered into academic subjects. So today, because of being tossed by our love, hate, attachment and hate, and so forth, when we are facing lots of problems in the world, because of being under the influence of our own thought processes, negative. So these problems cannot be overcome by using weapons or wealth, money, but all these different thought processes that go on in our mind need to be dealt with by understanding the workings of our mind. So if you let yourself be astray with those of attachment, anger, and so forth, of course we are not talking about past and future life, or future lives or nirvana and so forth, but we are actually talking about how to deal with the day-to-day problems. If we could know more about the workings and the system of mind itself, then we could actually from the Kanjur and Tenjur, the system of mind science or psychology, which not only should do we resort to scriptural authority, but use reason. So I thought it's not enough to keep these literature, the canonical literature, up in the altar to worship, but that we could divide the content of these canonical texts into three: science, philosophy, and concepts, and religion. Of course, religion is for the Buddhists. So with regard to philosophy, the Nalanda, great Nalanda Panditas have demonstrated and explored the nature of things quite deeply. And then with regard to the mind, they have also detailed explanation of the sensorial experiences and the mental experiences, and these can be considered, introduced into the school system, into the school curriculum, and it is necessary to do that, and therefore we came up with this the compilation of the books on science and philosophy, whereas people deepen their understanding of the nature of things, and of course they can go into the philosophical study. And so in the beginning, when we started this project, we had I actually expressed my view in front of many scholars. And so everyone agreed that it is a very good thought, and therefore many geishas were gathered, and we had the compilation into these books on science and philosophy. So the geisha, the main geishas who took the responsibility to compile them are here today, so I would like to really thank you for your dedication. And besides that, translation into English and Chinese and Hindi, of course, has been started but not finished. And also Mongolian translation, Russian translation, and many other languages. And of course, the projects have started, the works have started in translating into many other languages as well. And so, with regard to psychology and logic and reasoning, these are something which should be considered as academic subjects that can actually cover everyone. So of course we can say that this world is full of turmoil because of people's thought processes, love, hate, attachment, and so forth. And so that's why we call it samsara as well. So by using the understanding of our workings of our mind, we can also work for physical health by using or understanding the health of mind, the mental hygiene. So when I talk with scientists and educators and so forth, everybody agrees with me to work for mental hygiene, to help our physical hygiene. So I hope that these books would be beneficial to the general readers and public. We're not thinking here of propagating Buddhism as well, but it's not, it is a service to the humanity at large, and we are not here trying to propagate Buddhism. So these books are dealing with psychology and philosophy, which are academic subjects. And so people could still do further exploration and investigation, and we could perhaps come up with more gifts to the world at large. And so these traditions that we are talking about regarding the study of mind and so forth are Indian culture, Indian tradition. The Buddha himself and the Nalanda masters were born in an Indian cultural milieu where there is the study of mind and mental factors and so forth. And the Buddha himself did a lot of investigation into these traditions and investigated. And for many eons, of course, he had familiarized himself with the mind, the workings of mind and so forth. But historically speaking, he was born in Indian tradition where he had the opportunity to, he had the access to this tradition. And then Master Nagarjuna and so forth were great philosophers and logicians, and they were top scholars. So there had been numerous great masters in the past. For example, Master Chandarakshita brought or spread the Nalanda tradition in Tibet. And we as Tibetans have preserved it very well, excellently. And so the Nalanda tradition that we have received has this tradition of memorizing the root texts and then going through the texts and explaining them word for word, and then doing rigorous study through logic. And so these Nalanda masters were Indians, but this tradition has declined in the land of its origin, and now we have the opportunity to revive this tradition, and we have the responsibility too. So these traditions that we are talking about belong to the Indians. They are the real masters, and we can therefore repay their kindness by sharing the knowledge that we have preserved, giving it back to them. So, following Master Chandarakshita and Kamalashila, we as Tibetans have have been doing this rigorous study of the Indian classics, and therefore I'm thinking of reviving the ancient Indian tradition in India itself so that we could actually share this knowledge, wisdom knowledge that we have received from them with the Indians themselves. And there are many Indians who are taking special interest in this venture, and there are many institutions, higher institutions, schools and so forth are also taking interest in this, and for that we need books that people can actually base themselves to study, and therefore this kind of publication is very important and beneficial. And then we as Tibetans have all these traditions in our own language, the Nalanda tradition, which is preserved very well, excellently, and in the Tibetan language. And it is a Tibetan pride that we have preserved this Indian tradition in our own language. So we can say the Tibetan forebears have really preserved the Nalanda tradition, and which can be measured up to the standard that was already high standard of knowledge in India. I mean, compared to that, and so we as Tibetans should be proud of this, that the fact that we are able to actually give back this knowledge, wisdom, tradition that we have received to the Indians. And so everyone who have worked to compile the books, so it's your, the credit goes to you. But because of my name, I seem to take the credit for the work that you have done. So I would like to thank you. So the profound cultural tradition that we have as Tibetans should not be left merely at the level of faith, but even the elderly people, male and female, should study. For example, I just remembered this. When we first came into exile, my late mom did not know reading, but once after we reached Missouri and then Dharamsala, and my mother also learned Tibetan and really worked hard. And then she also started reading sutras. So she really persevered diligently. So otherwise, coming from the Ziling area, we didn't speak the Central Tibetan dialect. We only spoke in a broken Ziling Chinese, and so therefore I thought that the elderly people could put effort in doing study of the teaching of the Buddha. As Sakya Pandita has said, even if you were to die tomorrow, you should still learn something so that you leave an imprint in your mind which becomes like a deposit of your money in a bank that you can actually take back from the bank in the next life. So everyone must put effort to study, and that's all I would like to say. Thank you again to the Chief Minister of Bihar. So His Holiness is presenting the Chief Minister with a portrait of the 17 Nalanda Panditas. With the praise to the 17 Nalanda masters in Tibetan, English and Hindi, or so that's all.
Thank you, Your Holiness. This concludes today's program. Once again, we would like to thank the Honorable Chief Minister of Bihar, Sri Nitish Kumar ji, for taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us today. We would also like to thank everyone in the audience for sharing this special day with us. Thank you.